The following is a paid program by the Whitley Law Firm. Welcome to Attorneys on Call, the program that gives you free legal information from the Whitley Law Firm. Now, here's your host, Drew Smith.
And thanks so much for joining us. If you are new to the program, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Over the next half hour, we're going to be talking about the Whitley Advantage and what the Whitley Law Firm can do for you if in case you might have been injured, seriously injured in an automobile accident, a trucking accident, a motorcycle accident. Possibly you were hurt on the job and suffered a worker compensation case. We're going to talk about that and dive into what that really means if you've been hurt on the job. At any time during the next half hour, you can call the 800 number that's on your screen. You can also go to the Whitley Law Firm website, which is whitleylawfirm.com. Either one of those is a great first step because you might have a claim or know someone, a loved one or a family member that might have a claim as well. And so we're going to spend the next half hour really relating to what you might be going through at home, dealing with a personal injury. And that's why we're here today. So thanks so much for joining us. In studio, Bob Whitley and Ben Whitley of the Whitley Law Firm. Guys, it's always great to be with you.
Yes, nice to be here.
Good to be here.
Ben, tell me a little bit about the Whitley Law Firm. This is a firm your dad started. You're a family law firm. You've got offices, you represent people all across the state of North Carolina. You focus on personal injury.
Right, and like you said, my dad's been practicing law for over 40 years and has started this firm, and we have a number of great lawyers, and we do practice all over the state, helping people that have been hurt seriously in a car accident, that may have a workers' compensation claim, or they could be a victim of a bad drug or a failed medical orthopedic device. And I think later in the show, Whitney Butcher is going to come on and talk about a bad cancer drug. So I would encourage folks to stay tuned for that. So we help people we represent people, not companies. And our fees are always based on contingency fees. That means that if we take a case, it's based on a percentage so that you can hire us without paying a retainer, paying a retainer fee or any kind of money up front. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, we offer free consultations. Those consultations can be in person or they can be over the phone where we can give you advice. Because I listen to some of the phone calls most every day, even the ones that I'm not on because of some of the folks are outside my office. And we're giving people information and advice about handling your case. And oftentimes you don't even need a lawyer. I think sometimes people believe that the second they're in any kind of accident, even a minor accident, I better call a lawyer. But that's not always the case. But it is good advice to get free advice because there's some things and tips in there that you may need because the insurance company is not looking out for you. They don't have your back, and they're looking to save money, and that's their business. But our business is to help people with claims with insurance companies.
Bob, you wrote a book recently called Attorney on Call, and a lot of your personal history is peppered throughout the book. But I think it's really a great resource because you point out all the different cases that you've covered some of the cases you've covered over the years, and why you do what you do. And it's interesting because you said your dad put you on a tobacco farm at 14 and said go to work, and you learned a lot from your dad and that work ethic, right?
That's right. I remember in the summertime, Drew, he would come home, we'd be out of school. I don't even know what grade I was in, maybe fourth or fifth. And he'd ask me, he said, did you do anything today other than breathe? And so getting a job and working was our way of life. I mean, not only did I work in tobacco, but I cut yards, about 20 a week. I had a paper route, and it was helpful to have my own spending money. But I wouldn't give anything for the lessons that my dad taught me. I didn't like him at the time, and I thought he was kind of mean. But when I look back at my life and my career, I'm very thankful for those lessons.
You've applied those to your legal practice.
Well, they just came naturally. Work hard, and tell the truth. In my household, you could get away with a lot of misconduct, but you could not get away with even the smallest little lie. Mm-hmm. So he kind of indoctrinated that to me in a tough way. But, when someone comes to us, we realize that they have plenty of choices of lawyers. Mm-hmm. They're on TV all day long. You get stacks of mail from lawyers. And so they've come to us and say, we want to hire the Whitley Law Firm. Well, I think it's important that we take that as seriously as they do.
Mm-hmm.
They could have gone to a lot of places. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, we have and talk about the Whitley advantage. And that means several things to me, but one of the things it means is that client that has made that decision to hire us, I don't want that client to ever regret that decision. I think I would have nightmares if I thought they did. And the only way that a client can never have that regret is to let them see you working as hard as you can on their case and let them experience your being respectful and courteous to them throughout the whole matter. They're going through a very bad time in their life. You know, they may be the sole breadwinner in their family. They, in addition to maybe being out of work and not having their regular income, they're having extra medical expenses on top of this. So this is a tough time for them. And I've watched, you know, Whitney and Ann and the other lawyers in our law firm and Ben, and you know, if you act that way, it's a little bit like my daddy. If you really believe in hard work, it kind of gets transposed to those around you.
Yeah.
So I'm real proud of the team that we have. I think clients and people who get seriously injured, they need full steam ahead by whatever law firm they have, because the more seriously injured you are, the more risk that that insurance company has.
Okay.
So they're going to be doing a lot more maybe than regularly if it's just a little fender bender sore neck case.
Right.
If in a major case.
And let's talk about workers' compensation claims, Ben, because I know that's an area that the Whitley Law Firm does a lot of work in, people getting hurt on the job. But kind of explain for our viewers, what is workers' compensation and how does it get to the point where you have to hire an attorney?
Yeah, so workers' compensation is just an insurance program that that most people have when they're at work. And there's some requirements of usually bigger companies have to have it, smaller companies may not have to have it. But essentially it's there to protect a worker, anybody at work that gets hurt on the job and is unable to work for a period of time. It pays for their medical expenses and it pays for a portion of their wages, their paycheck while they're out of work, as long as the doctor says they can't work. And that's really all the system is designed to do. It's not like negligence claims when we talk about here, where it's designed to try to right the wrong, or where you think about the scales of justice, compensation for what happened. It's none of that. It's really just a very basic program, and that is got lots of room in there for insurance companies to take advantage of people, because they know the law, workers don't. They know the reporting requirements, a worker doesn't. They get to send them to the doctor. They get to choose the doctor. They're really in control. And a lot of times when we help people get out of the system, help them get out of workers' comp through a settlement, it's really just about restoring control to you. So what we do in workers' comp is help restore control to the person who gets hurt. Because other than that, they're having to rely on that insurance company to tell them where to go, you know, who to see and what to do.
You had a case where you represented a gentleman that was hurt on the job and suffered serious injury. You were able to recover a large sum for him but he went through a lot of pain and suffering. It was a case in a construction case, right? Can you explain that and how that workers' comp worked?
In that case, his safety lanyard didn't work. You know, it's like a seatbelt. It spools out, but then it holds when it's supposed to. And he was working on the roof, fell, and his piece of equipment fell, and it was an accident. And it was an accident at work. So he had some other claims, some other negligence claims that are a whole different story. But mainly he had a workers' comp case too, which meant that all of his bills were supposed to be paid for by the insurance company.
Supposed to be paid.
Supposed to be paid. But, you know, they get to choose where they send you and what they, sometimes they send, you know, in my experience, and it happened in this case, is that there's a particular doctor in Raleigh that the insurance companies know that if they send somebody to, he will say there's nothing wrong with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't seem very fair.
No matter how badly hurt they are,
Yeah.
every time, and he says there's nothing wrong, they can go back to work.
Really?
And
Wow.
of course, couldn't you imagine that insurance company, they love him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he pops up on a lot of different cases.
Yeah.
Because he's popular for them, okay? That's the kind of stuff that's going on. That's why this whole thing is ripe for insurance companies to take advantage of it. So what we have to do is we have to be prepared to fight those types of issues.
Okay.
And we have to be prepared to go in front of a judge and say, Judge, this doctor is going to, we know what he's going to say, and he's found the same thing in this other case, the same other case. And so
Right.
you have to fight those issues. And you can't do that on your own. And the client that I represented, you know, we had to find a doctor that was known to be a fair doctor, that wasn't an insurance doctor, you know, and I think they were up at Duke to evaluate him and say that the other guy was wrong. So these are we call it in the legal world the battle of the experts. You know, if you watch legal shows, you probably see
Yeah.
the same thing.
Sure.
But so those are the kinds of things of knowing how to handle those types of claims, which is important. But in my case, you know, we ultimately decided to get him out of the system. And that's, I think, in a lot of times, sometimes the worker's best option is to get out of the system through a settlement.
Okay.
These are complex cases. There's complex laws. You need to get a board certified specialist involved. And if you're out there and you've got a case, or you think you've got a case, or you just want to run a situation by me, please give us a call. You know, you can call and leave your information, and I will personally call you back.
And at any time, we have operators standing by right now, so you can call the 800 number. You'll get somebody on the line. You can go to whitleylawfirm.com. You can also, through the website, send emails to the attorneys, correct?
That's right. Some folks may not want to get on the phone, and I understand that. You know, so you can type a confidential email right to us, and someone will get back to you, and it's all free, so it's a free consultation.
Bob, you had a case where you represented a person that was severely injured and hurt because another person ran a stop sign, and this person had a serious injury to the lower leg or to the foot, right?
We did.
Can you tell me about that case.
That was Joe, and the other driver clearly ran the stop sign, but they alleged that Joe was contributory negligent. That is, he contributed just a little bit to the wreck because it was raining, and they said he was going too fast. And that's what we're up against a lot, Drew, is the law of contributory negligence in North Carolina, which means that the person who's injured has got to be 100% free from any fault in the way the accident happens. And if you think about it, the more seriously hurt an individual is, the larger their claim money-wise, the more it's going to be contested on the other side because they got more to lose.
Yeah, right.
They're going to hire the expert. They're going to hire engineers, and they have almost an unlimited budget to do that. That's why it's important, I think, particularly when you have a very serious injury, a brain injury, a spinal injury, a loss of a limb, that you get a real serious lawyer to handle that claim because it's going to be contested vigorously by the insurance company. They're going to hire all kinds of experts to take their side, and you need to be able to do that yourself. You need to be on an even playing field with them. And I think it takes an experienced an attorney with the resources available to do the same thing. And we kind of pride ourselves on that. We take great pride in that. We think that's part of what we call the Whitley advantage.
We do have a great video that we want to show our viewers right now that speaks to what Bob and Ben have been talking about, the Whitley advantage. We hope you enjoyed this video. Take a look.